All right, we are back on March 16th. It's 3/16. It's Austin 3/16 day, and we got some March Madness planned for today. Jeff here. Brad, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. College basketball isn't something I watch super close, but it's a lot of fun to make these brackets and shoot your shot at, making the perfect bracket, if you will. Everyone knows that's not going to happen, but it's super fun to just kind of relax and for whatever reason you find to be fit, picking a team that's going to win a matchup and then see what happens. So some
Yeah,
people will throw pencils at a ceiling, see which one sticks, flip a coin, do their research, but it's fun regardless.
yeah. I think that this is the March Madness NCAA tournament. First off, we missed it last year, so this is 2 years in the making. Um, Very excited to have this back. It's something that you don't realize you missed it until it's physically gone. Second thing is, this is the one sport. It's really the one sport that emphasizes the Cinderella story more than any other sport. There's no other sport that can really claim to the fame of the Cinderella story like college basketball does. And I've been saying this for a couple of years: is college football has zero Cinderella stories at all.
So fitting that they would just
Yeah.
be the opposite.
So, with that being said, basically what we're going to do today, if you guys are listening, and we'll upload after the fact, but we're going to go through and we're going to list um, our picks in the NCAA tournament bracket, okay? But I'm not going to do one, and Brad's not going to do one. We're going to fill one out together, okay? He's going to make his pick, and then I'm going to make my pick, and then we'll go either or, and then at the end we'll come up with a winner, and if we have to argue about it, we'll argue about it for a minute, and that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
and I feel like a lot of our picks are going to be just like what you would do. You're going to go to your website, ESPN, Yahoo, whatever. You're going to click that little I. You're going to
Yeah,
say which team looks like they'd be better, and you're just going to have to just have a little fun with it.
yeah. So this could either be a great success with two minds, or this could be an absolute nightmare train wreck bomb of a bracket, but it's going to be fun, and let's kick her off. So Brad's going to take first. We're going to start in the West bracket. So if you want to follow along, we're starting in the West. The number one overall seed, Gonzaga, against the winner of Norfolk State and Appalachian State. Who are you selecting?
It's an interesting matchup between the team that's going to lose and Gonzaga, but I'm going to take Gonzaga.
The Zags
Gonzaga should
stay
roll.
undefeated.
Yeah, they could they should roll here. No
Okay.
worries.
We have an 8-9 matchup. Oklahoma's 15-10 against Missouri at 16-9. Um, don't have any care in the world to who wins this match. I'm simply taking the higher seed in Oklahoma because the Big 12 was pretty darn good this year, and Oklahoma with 10 losses might be a little. It might be a bad record, but I think they're probably better than 15-10.
Yeah. I think I'd take Missouri because they're black and gold. Um, when it comes to the next matchup, 12 versus 5 seeds can be tricky. Little fun fact: number 5 seeds win 64% of their meetings, but 2019, 2 years ago, it was the third time that in the past 7 tourneys that three number 12 seeds won in the same tournament on the opening days. But I like Creighton. I like McDermott leading this squad. They've looked pretty good all season. And who's this other team? USCB or UCSB? I
Yeah.
mean, they haven't played a ranked opponent. They don't look very good. Their record's nice, but Creighton should be able to beat them.
We got a 4-13 matchup. It is the Virginia at 18-6. They're the defending champions of this tournament because it was not played last year. Obviously, they're going against the Ohio Bobcats at 16-7. Man, would I like an upset here? I would, but I just don't feel one in this matchup. I'm going Virginia at least to um take away a W here.
This one should be interesting, though. You guys got to keep your eye on this one, Ohio versus Virginia.
Yeah,
Um, USC versus the winners of was that Wichita and
and Drake.
Drake. Okay. USC's had a pretty good year, 22-7. Jeff has alluded to me, and maybe you guys know this too. They have a really good player on their team, probably a top 5 NBA pick.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley, he's averaging just under 17 a game. He's going to be the guy for me, wins the first round. I don't think either of these 11 seeds will have anybody to deal with him. Something to look forward, though, for USC. They only have one player shooting over 70% from the free throw line. Only one guy. That's going to cost them a game in the tournament. I don't think they're going to have a shot winning if they can't improve that.
Yeah, moving on. The Kansas Jayhawks, obviously a college basketball blue blood. They're 20-8 on the year. They're going to be taking on the number 14 seed Eastern Washington at 16-7. We haven't really called an upset today. I'm sure we'll call plenty, but I'm going to start here. Eastern Washington upsets Kansas.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. We got Oregon versus VCU.
Yep.
Records super similar, 20-6, 19-7. They average within 2 points a game. Defensively, holding opponents within 3 scoring. Both 0-1 versus top 25. I'm really only taking Oregon because they're the higher seed here. This is a 50-50 game. If you guys maybe have more insight than I do as to a reason why, VCU would win. But I'm just going to take Oregon here to win this game.
I'm going to finish off here with the 2-15 matchup. It is Iowa at 21-8 taking on Grand Canyon at 17-6. So Iowa obviously has Luka Garza. Very good chance he gets National Player of the Year. I have a hard time picking against them here. We're going to give Iowa the W here.
You guys might see a little pattern here, but sometimes in the first round, you just got to say who has the best player on the floor.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to give them one.
Yeah. So now we're going to move into the East. Brad's going to do another 1 seed. I'm going to finish on this one, and I'll take the 1 seeds on the next side so that we're not doing the same matchups. But, Brad, go ahead and start off. You got Michigan.
I don't have a 16 seed beating a 1 seed going forward in the tournament the first day. I'm going to take Michigan, and if I'm wrong on any of the 1 seeds, you just got to take that slap on the wrist. I mean, there's no way you can predict them losing.
Yeah. LSU, they came up short against Alabama in the SEC tournament. They're going to take on number 9, St. Bonaventure.
Bonaventure, I think is what it is, but either way, I like that name.
Never heard of them. They're 16-4, so they actually have a better record than LSU. I'm taking them in an upset. Number 9 upsets number 8 LSU.
I think I am too. I like that name. All right. We've got Colorado versus Georgetown. This was one that I've been scratching my head with kind of for a while. Colorado's 3-1 versus ranked opponents, but they've got the trifecta over USC, so I feel like that's a little bit clouded on maybe a matchup. Georgetown, though, I feel like you have to factor in what's happening, and they have all the momentum. They ran their tournament, they won it, and they're coming in hot on a win streak. I think that might be able to get them a win, and we're going to have another upset here. 12 beats a 5, and for a lot of people that pick their upsets, this is a great matchup to do it. 12 versus 5. It seems to be one of the trickiest ones to call. I like Georgetown. Patrick Ewing.
Awesome. We got a 4-13 matchup here. It's Florida State. They're 16-6 against UNC Greensboro, 21-8. I've been back and forth on this one, but I think that Florida State is just too much. I'm taking FSU to move on.
It would be so cool if some of these teams like UNC Greensboro or St. Bonaventura, like in the college football playoff, those dark horses. I feel like just doing these brackets, it makes you realize again how much football is missing out on some of the way their structure is. BYU versus the winner of UCLA and Michigan State. I don't think this is going to be an easy game either way. But BYU only has 6 losses on the season. 3 of them came to Gonzaga, so I think they're a pretty good team outside of facing a powerhouse. I'm going to take BYU to win their game and advance through the first round.
Cool. I did not know that about BYU. Interesting. All right. So next, I get the 3-14 again. So it's Texas at 19-7, going against
ACU.
ACU. Sure. Yes.
That's all.
It's a Abilene Christian. They're 23-4 though. It's a scary opponent. I hate seeing these high seeds with these fantastic records. It always makes me think that they can pull it off, and a lot of times I like to give them the win. But here, as good as the Big Ten was this year, the Big 12 was also very top heavy. Texas was very good. I don't think Texas loses this one. I'll give them Texas the W.
Here we got a 7 versus 10 matchup. Yukon versus Maryland. Big Ten was really strong in basketball this year, especially at the top. And versus top 25 opponents here, Yukon's 0-4, Maryland's 4-7. Not great, but I just think they've been tested and they've got some good wins. Again, with Maryland, 3 of their losses come to Michigan, another to Ohio State. They were able to beat teams like Purdue. They beat Illinois. So they've shown they can beat the top teams. They take UConn just because they're battle tested here. I like them to win, take the 10 seed.
I 100% agree with that. Great pick. This is the upset of the day. I don't think anybody's calling an upset better than this one. So Alabama, for the first time in like my lifetime, they're a basketball school. They're the 2 seed. They're 24-6. They get a fantastic seeding into this tournament, but they're going up against Iona, who's 12-5. Okay, Rick Pitino is their coach. He's the first coach in NCAA history to take 5 teams to the NCAA tournament, and he's not going home in the first round. He's going to beat Alabama. Iona moves on.
All right. I know we've talked about this, but I believe it's Iona. Like, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Okay, Iona.
Yep. I know you've said you wanted me to try and correct you when you say
Yep.
something, but so that's the first round of 64. Those 2 divisions will go to the right side and go back to back here. Let me know, is Hartford going to do it?
Baylor slaughters them. Takes care of business.
That's easy. Here we've got 8-9. These are tough ones. Wisconsin and North Carolina, 18-10 versus 17-12. Again, I like to give the nod here to some Big Ten teams because they've gone through the gauntlet this year, just battling each other in a very tough division. 8-9. These teams are completely really even, but UNC hasn't shown me anything as to why I think they would beat Wisconsin. So I'm going to take the Big Ten in another win.
All right, we got 5-12 matchup here. Villanova at 16-6 going up against Winthrop at 23-1. They're the 12 seed. I have them in an upset. Winthrop. They have 1 loss. Let's move them on.
Purdue versus UNT. I don't even know who this team is, to be honest with you. North Texas here.
North Texas, yeah.
It's North Texas. Again, Purdue was a 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. They've played well all year. They're holding opponents to only 66 points per game, which is very good. Again, I don't think a team like North Texas is going to pull it off. I see Jeff is more willing to give the upsets in the first round, but I don't know. I'm not going to take Purdue losing. I'm not going to try and predict that. So they beat North Texas by double digits, I think.
I actually agree with that one. Moving on here, we got Texas Tech, the 6th seed. They're 17-10 against Utah State, who's 20-8. They're the 11th seed. Utah State, I can't really break down too much of them, but Texas Tech playing in the Big 12. I know what they were playing against this year. I like Texas Tech to move on, and I like their coach too. So,
yeah, a lot of their losses came to big teams: Baylor twice, Houston, Kansas twice, West Virginia twice, Oklahoma State twice. So they've been beaten by the top teams. They seem to handle everybody else.
yeah.
Arkansas versus Colgate. Colgate is 14-1. You'd like to respect that a lot. They've scored 86 points a game but I think that's because of the competition that they've been going up against. Arkansas beats them.
All right, so we got another SEC team here. It's Florida at 14-9. They're the 7th seed going up against VTech at 15-6. SEC was kind of down this year, I guess, in a way. I don't have a lot here. I've been back and forth. I'm still going to go Florida. Gators.
I think I'd take Virginia Tech, but I like it. Spoiler alert, though, Oral Roberts is not beating Ohio State. We can just move on.
Ohio State. All right. I got the 1 seed here. So we're in the Midwest. This is the last region here. Midwest region. I got Illinois beating Drexel.
Drexel. Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech. I believe it wasn't too long ago where Loyola Chicago had climbed to that magical run in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. They got did they get to the Elite Eight?
They played Michigan in the Final Four a couple years ago.
Final Four is what it was. Okay, yeah, they had that magical run. So because of their name, you might want to give them, an advantage, I guess. But I don't think they're going to beat Georgia Tech. They're 24-4, but they lost against the only ranked team they played. Georgia Tech seems to have played well. They've got good wins over Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. So I'm going to give Georgia Tech the win here. And 9's my favorite number, so we're going to go with quite a bit of 9 seeds.
And Georgia getting an automatic bid here, winning their ACC tournament. So Tennessee out of the SEC, 18-8 to their 5 seed, taking on Oregon State out of the pack, 17-12. They're the 12th seed. I got nothing on this matchup. I guess I'm gonna go. I just don't like Tennessee. Never have. Going Oregon State.
Okay, I'll switch it. You're gonna pick Tennessee for sure. Here we have one of the most interesting teams in the entire tournament, Oklahoma State versus Liberty, and they are interesting because they have the number 1 pick in the 2022 NBA draft in Cade Cunningham, and he is the reason this team, in my opinion, may go really far in this tournament, especially further than Liberty. They're going to win. Again, Cade Cunningham will be too much, and the team has played well. Let's not forget about the rest of the team, too. Oklahoma State's played really well this year.
Yeah. Moving on here, 6-11 matchup. So San Diego State at 23-4 will be taking on Syracuse at 16-9. San Diego State has been a pretty solid basketball school for a couple of years now. Syracuse obviously is a basketball school, but I'm going to take the little guy, San Diego State, to move on.
Yeah, we've got West Virginia versus Moorhead State. West Virginia's played okay this year. They haven't played great, but in one of their recent games, they played against Baylor, and they took him all the way to the end of the game. And I think West Virginia's been getting better as the season's gone along. I think that comes into the tournament. How far it'll take them, I don't know, but they're going to beat Moorhead State. I don't think that's where their journey ends.
All right, here. ACC Clemson 16-7 against the Big Ten's Rutgers 15-11. Rutgers played just about everybody they played pretty tough this year. I want to give them the W, but I can't see the Big Ten going undefeated, so I'm going to give this one to Clemson.
Yeah, Rutgers is 1-7 versus top 25, but it's Michigan, Iowa twice, Ohio State twice, Maryland. So they had a tough go about. That's the first round, though. That's it. It's everyone.
You got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Houston. Houston beats Cleveland State. My bad.
You're good.
Yeah, Houston's played really well. I believe Houston's the only team in the country to be top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. I'm pretty sure. So they're a team that's going to be hard to beat.
So we are into the second round here. Winners go to the Sweet 16. Starting back at the top. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? You know what? I'll go first because you went first with this side. That would make sense.
Yeah, we'll mix it up. It's all good. Yeah.
So the Zags are playing Oklahoma. Zags move on. They're not ready to lose yet.
Looking at Creighton versus Virginia, the thing I don't like about Virginia is looking at their notable losses. Gonzaga by 23, Florida State by 21. You got Texas Tech or Virginia Tech, excuse me, lost by 14. It just seems like when they lose, they get blown out. I like Creighton to play them hard and run away with the game late. I don't think Virginia hangs with them.
All right, Eastern Washington upsets Kansas, but they do not upset USC. USC moves on.
USC moves on. You have Iowa versus Oregon here.
I do.
Looking at Oregon, just one thing stands out to me here. They lost to USC by 14. USC has a dominant big man. So does Iowa and Luca Garza, excuse me.
Yep.
And it'll be an interesting matchup when you see Luke Garza and Evan Mobley go at it in the Elite Sweet 16. That'll be a fun matchup if our brackets are perfect, which they usually are. So I mean, shoot.
Honestly,
all these are right, guys.
Of all the Sweet 16 matchups, I don't care how you manufactured them. This is the top game that you're going to want to see in the Sweet 16. I don't get that is a massive matchup.
USC Iowa is going to be fun.
Absolutely. I had St. Bonaventure beating LSU, but they will not beat Michigan. Michigan will move on to the Sweet 16.
Yep. And Georgetown, their Cinderella run is ended early as they get eliminated in the round of 32 to Florida State. And Florida State will play Michigan in the Sweet 16.
BYU is playing Texas. This is a 3-6 matchup. You gave me a stat about BYU that 3 of their losses of their 6 were to Zaga. Makes me think they have a lot of fight in them. So this could go either way, but I'm still going to take Texas to move on.
Maryland versus Iona, which should be fun, like you said. The coach, I just forgot his name.
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino, obviously good coach. But Maryland's tough. I think Maryland just has too much for Iona here. 2 double-digit seeds, though, if our bracket is true playing here. I like Maryland to advance to face Texas in the Sweet 16.
Okay. Moving over to the South. This one you'll be kicking off.
Yeah, again, I think Baylor possesses too much. They were 22-2 on the year, 7 wins out of 9 against top 25 opponents. And yeah, they're just a really good team. I think Baylor's a number 1 seed, deservedly so. Too much for Wisconsin. They move on.
Yeah. This is when people are going to start calling my stuff into question, but if I'm right, I look like a genius. Winthrop and Purdue. I got Winthrop moving on. They're 23-1 moving in. They're going to have 1 loss going up against Baylor.
That'd be fun. Texas Tech versus Arkansas.
Yes.
6 versus 3. 22-6 versus 17-10. Gosh, I'm just going through and looking here. This is one of those ones where I'm just going to have to flip a coin or try and find something. But since 2008, number 3 seeds have won 18 of the past 21 meetings versus number 6 seeds. I'm just going to, my first time going to the seed fact, I'm going to take the 3 seed. I'm going to take Arkansas to beat Texas Tech in advance.
Cool. All right, so we have a rematch of the 2006 NCAA tournament finals, Florida and Ohio State. It seems like these 2 teams are almost synonymous for facing each other in random sports. But Ohio State has played everybody they've played extremely tough. They seem to struggle down the stretch in some games, but I'm going to take them to move on here. Ohio State wins.
Yeah. Georgia Tech here playing against Illinois. Georgia Tech versus Illinois. I like Illinois. I think they had they've beat Iowa twice. They're 2 for 3 against Ohio State. They had a monstrous win against Michigan by 23 points, beat Purdue. I think they're just a really good team. The only big loss on their schedule is they lost by 13 to Baylor, but again, we just talked about how good Baylor is. Illinois is making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, this next matchup is interesting because of the color schemes on the court. It's the black and orange Oregon State against the black and orange Oklahoma State.
Both OSUs.
Both OSUs. Oklahoma State wins. Cade Cunningham, baby, is too much.
Yep, CC. He's good. San Diego State versus West Virginia. This is another one where people hear West Virginia's name a lot this year. They've been in the mix. They've played a lot of teams tough. But man, I think San Diego State could be another team that pushes on through. They'd beat the narrative of 6 versus 3, and I think San Diego State makes it further than some people had them.
Clemson at 16-7 is going to be taking on Houston at 23-3. It is a 2-7 matchup, pretty typical for the second round. Houston moves on though.
Houston's really good.
All right, you're going to start back up here in the West. Winner goes to the Elite Eight. Who you got?
Yeah, Gonzaga is not making it any shorter than this. Once we hit Elite Eight, I can see maybe some predictions on them being beat, but they're not being beat before the Elite Eight. They bounce Creighton.
Yeah, Zaga's pretty good, and as of right now, I haven't heard a single team in their bracket that can beat them. That may change here in a second, though. Man, I got the power matchup. So USC taking on Iowa. Iowa is too well coached, has outside shooting, and they have a big man. If it turns out to be a foul trouble matchup, Iowa can still win. I'm taking Iowa to move on.
All right, that's those. Moving on. Michigan versus West. Where are we going?
No, we're in the East.
I'm sorry.
We're in the East.
My screen moved. I'm sorry. Yes, we are in the East. Michigan versus Florida State. Gosh, Michigan 20-4. I don't like how they looked without Rivers. I don't like how they looked without him. I still think they're dominant enough with their big man. They have, I think, 4 or 5 players averaging double-digit point totals on the year. Michigan right now is Juwan Howard. They're going to advance. I have Michigan going forward to the Elite Eight, but that's going to be a good game. Maybe closer than some people think. Florida State's going to give them a scare.
Yeah. So this matchup here, obviously, I predicted a 15 seed beating a 2 seed. So this obviously could be completely nothing. But if Texas were to play Maryland, Maryland is finally going to meet their match. Texas is night and day better than them. Texas wins. I'm going back to back here. I'm going to start up in the top of the South. This is Baylor versus Winthrop.
Your Cinderella.
People would literally hammer me if I picked them to beat Baylor, so I'm not going to. But watch out for this team. They're my team for the tournament as a Cinderella.
I think it's excited to watch that game if possible.
Baylor advances.
Up there, I gotta see it. Again, I'm sticking with the Big Ten. Maybe a little bit, biased, but I think I'll have reasons to not be biased, as you guys may see in the future. But I'm going to take Ohio State here. We've got a 1 versus 2 and a 1 versus 2 in both the West and South as of right now.
So
tough one here.
Illinois is a very good team.
But so is Cade Cunningham.
But Cade Cunningham is a straight baller too. This is a game where I think that he gets there and gives Illinois something they just really haven't seen, and that's just one guy that can go out and get 35.
The NCAA, their first overall pick lock.
Yeah, honestly, just watching that Big Ten matchup in the championship game where Dwayne Washington was able to give Illinois a ton of problems. Cade Cunningham is double the player that Dwayne Washington is. I'm going Oklahoma State in an upset.
Okay. I'm going to take Houston again. I think they're the better team. San Diego State's made it pretty far, but Houston's one of the better teams. I think they, just off the top of my head, I think they may be the best 2 seed, in my opinion. So that's yet to be seen, but I like Houston to advance here to play Oklahoma State in the Elite Eight.
Okay. Moving back up to the West, I believe I am in charge of this one. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Go ahead. What?
No, you're fine. Take it away.
Okay. Zaga is interesting because I think they might be the best team in the tournament.
Is he gonna do it?
Zaga moves on to the Final Four.
Just so you know, I know you don't have it in front of you if you've forgotten. These teams have played in the regular season, and Gonzaga won by 11.
They played in the regular season. Interesting.
Gonzaga
I forgot about that.
By 11. Double-digit
Okay.
win.
Okay.
So here we have Michigan versus Texas. I don't think Isaiah Livers is coming back, but my number one rule is never bet against the boys. So I'm going to take Texas, and that might shock some of you guys. But I am officially making the switch. I've always felt like a dirty Michigan fan. I've cheered for them, but never really cared about them. I'm switching. I'm making the switch to Texas, and I'm calling it before they play in the tournament, so that I don't look like a cheesecake. You know what I'm saying? But I'm taking Texas. I think they've got a really deep team. I think they are very good up front, which can match with Michigan's front, and they have an extremely good shooting backcourt. I think that's going to be the difference. The teams that are giving Michigan struggles can shoot well from the perimeter. Exhibit A, Ohio State, most recently.
So we had 3 Big Ten teams in the Elite Eight. Okay. I had Illinois losing to Oklahoma State. Otherwise, we would have had 4 in the Elite Eight. Okay. We won't have any in the Final Four, as I have Baylor beating Ohio State.
And, just to keep things interesting and keep it moving, I think we can have one of those magical runs from one man. And I think Oklahoma State beats Houston. I'd like to see Cade Cunningham in the Final Four, and it's our bracket, and the choice has fallen to me. I'm taking him. That gives us 2 1s, a 3, and a 4 seed in the Final Four, where you have Gonzaga versus Texas. What do you want? What are you thinking? Gonzaga's allowing 69 points a game and scoring 92.
Well, the funny thing is here, again, we didn't do this on purpose. We're just going off our picks. We have 3 Big 12 teams in the Final Four. The Big 12 is showing presence here. I'm not going to predict a Big 12 NCAA championship game, so I'm going Zaga to advance.
As much as I've been hyping up Cade, he meets his match in a stout defense from Baylor, only allowing 66 points a game and scoring 84. Those numbers eclipse what Oklahoma State is doing. And eventually, like LeBron and the Warriors, one man cannot beat that much difference in skill gap on an entire roster. Baylor kind of overwhelms Oklahoma State. Cade Cunningham runs out of gas. And I think Baylor bounces Oklahoma State by double digits. I think they boot them out of the tournament.
So just to be clear, Gonzaga and Baylor have not played each other, correct? This would be a first this season.
Correct.
Okay. This is it. This is the national championship game. Gonzaga takes on Baylor.
Now, just so you know, this is the only team, Baylor, whose numbers are close to Gonzaga. Holding opponents, Gonzaga 69, Baylor 66. Gonzaga scoring 92, Baylor scoring 84. Both these teams can score and play great defense. Their BPI rank 1 and 2, ironically enough. One's 4-0, one's 7-2 versus top 25. I mean, these guys are neck and neck.
Gonzaga has never won an NCAA championship, and only one team has finished the NCAA tournament undefeated, I believe. A whole season undefeated. But I got Gonzaga doing it. I just don't think the competition leading up to the championship game is enough for them. And if it's one game and they got to play Baylor, I'm taking them in a W.
I'll take Gonzaga, and I like it in a relatively high-scoring game. I'm going to put this score at Gonzaga 85, Baylor 78.
All right, man. Well, you guys, hopefully you guys listen to that. Maybe you followed along. Maybe you're just listening on the way to work and you're like, I just want to know who they're picking so I can make my last minute picks. We tried to get it out here on a Tuesday night so you can have it ready for Thursday when things start to get hot and heavy. So,
And also for some of you guys listening, maybe you've never filled out a bracket and you didn't know, when other people fill out their brackets, maybe it's, well, how much research goes into it? How much college football do you watch? As you watch me and Jeff, it can be as simple as I like the name of the team. I like their colors. I'm going to take the higher seed. There is no rhyme or reason to picking these teams, and literally anybody can do it. The craziest thing is we just did an entire bracket and we could have 0 correct picks. We could have one correct pick.
that would be
insane.
Absolutely wild.
But I'm just saying it's just you never know. And this is just something we wanted to do for fun. Everybody loves March Madness for the most part, and I can't wait to watch it. It gives you a reason to watch. If anything else, you fill out a bracket for free on some website, or maybe it's in a $10 or $20 friends, or maybe it's through the Real Talk page. We've got some people putting up, groups, but it gives you a reason to watch the games. And sports unites people, and when you can feel like you're engaged with everyone else watching these games, it's really a fun 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's fun because the national championship's always close, but this year it is on my birthday, so that'll be fun. National championship, especially if I can see my Texas Longhorns in the final. That'd be fun.
Wolverines are taking them out. I just couldn't say anything because I didn't get to pick it.
Yeah, I was gonna see who came down to it, but if they do play, we'll definitely have to get together for that game.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's been real. We're gonna save the bracket until you guys get a chance to listen to this, and we will post it Thursday when the tournament becomes live. And hopefully, you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys next time.
Later, guys.